to the trip. I am Gary or DWTT. Someone was asking me this today what my name was. I said, I don't know. But I got my man, Mr. Tom, with me. How you doing, Mr. Tom?
I'm wonderful, but I really do need you to answer me a question.
No.
There's a show. It isn't. There's a show starring Kiefer Sutherland. There's a show starring Kiefer Sutherland, the actor Kiefer Sutherland. He played a character called Jack Bauer, but I can't remember what the name of the show was.
24.
Can anyone remember?
Let's move on. 24. Let's go. 24. The name of the show. 24.
And what does that have in common with the Florida Gators?
You know what? I don't. Nobody. You know what, everyone? You know what? Bye.
Jeff Ford and Michael Walsh.
Mr. Todd, that's so mean. Anyways, we'll get to what you're talking about a little bit. Let me say hello to everyone. Also got Spencer in the house. How are you doing, Spencer?
Oh, I'm here. Welcome, everybody.
Yes. And we've got, I'm just going to call, he says his name is D's Nuts, but the man's called Gut Punch. Let's just call it what it is. Lonzo, how are you doing?
Hi, Gary. How's it going today? Good to see you, Tom and Spencer. Yeah.
All right, cool. We had our first, I started the show without starting the show. So you guys missed the first intro, so we ran it again. And somebody asked me, and was actually being mean when they did it, even though they don't think they were being mean, what the score of the Florida game was. There you go, for those who wanted to know. And for some reason, this is up there. Nobody cares about Denver. Nobody.
Fifth win in a row.
Yeah, nobody cares.
5 in a row, baby.
Nobody cares. My team scored like 40 points or something ridiculous. I don't. It's not. Yeah.
You only have to win by 1, baby.
There you go, Arsenal Misfit. Welcome to the show. Yeah, we go. We're gonna laugh at a lot of people, but we're gonna also talk about our people as well, who got points. Let's just say that. Big Scud is in the house.
Denver got 5 wins. That's only one more win than the number of touchdowns in the game between Florida Gators and Florida State.
You know what? This is why I don't. No.
Sir, we have 6 wins.
Anyways, no. I don't want to hear him. All right, Brenny, welcome to the show. Yes. Damn it, Chloe. I don't know what that is. What's that from?
It's from 24, which is the show that takes its name
that is
from
right.
the number of points you gave up on Saturday night.
Oh, no. Were you getting me?
Chloe.
Bang. Nobody wants to hear you. There you go. I got lost on the way of the road trip. Yeah.
That escalated quickly.
Yeah. All right. Can we start? Let's get moving here. Oh, yeah. Mr. Tom. All right. So, we usually start from the lineup and usually go forward. I think we're just going to start from the back and see where we end up. Arsenal played on Saturday. It's actually a long day. We had a long road trip. It ended up into a watch-along and a little chat afterwards. 5-hour, basically a 5-hour show. Mr. Tom started the day with me, then left in the middle, and then came back and finished it off. So, long day. Spencer joined in as well. I think he was going to leave for the watch long. I think he just stayed for the whole thing, right?
Yeah, I didn't want you to do it alone, man. So I was like, you know what? It was fun, man. We had a good time. I mean, we didn't have anything clickbaity on it. We just had fun and watched the game like two dudes and talked about it, and I thought it was a good time.
Yep. No, so that was cool.
My favourite part of it was how miserable you all were until the final minute of the game. And then mysteriously everything turned on a dime, as I believe the saying is.
Yeah, and that's never ever happened to you because
happened to me a lot. No, I'll tell you, I'll be even more accurate. It usually, I sit and watch Leeds and I'm miserable, and then I end up miserable. So, yeah. So at least you got the 1 minute of happiness.
Yeah, we did. We did. The 1 minute lasts for even longer. It lasts for at least a week. While everybody complains about Arsenal sitting at the top of the table, playing like crap. Their best players aren't even playing well, but they're at the top of the table. Their defense won't hold up for the whole season. The way we're playing won't hold up for the whole season. Even though they did make a claim, there is a thing called 1-0 to the Arsenal for a particular reason.
Mm-hmm.
Games were not so pretty, but it didn't matter because they kept winning. So, I think I'm hoping that the defense isn't required to do this all season. I hope at some point the offense does kick in. But let's get into it. We'll talk about that a little bit as well. But let's get into it. End of the game. It's an 89th minute. It was 89th minute. Ball comes up the right-hand side.
Yep.
Brentford, who, like everybody else, wasn't having a good game. Passes the ball to Saka. Saka steps inside to the left and puts a cross in immediately, and to the far corner. And guess who it connects with? Kai Havertz, who I was happy to have him come on late because the game needed something different. He's supposedly good with his head. He's supposedly good going into the box. I think he did what he needed to do. That's what we wanted him for. We want him from goals and assists. He got the goal. I was hoping that would open things up, make him feel part of the team, and I'll see him smile and be happy about it. And I don't think I even got that. He seemed the least happy person, even though he just scored the game-winning goal. It was, So, but I'll take 3 points. Hopefully, it does loosen him up a little bit, and he wants to. We see a better version of him. So, Mr. Tom, how do you feel about that?
I just want to say hello to everyone on Twitter because this is the first time I believe we're going out live simultaneously on Twitter. Now we're going to do a bit of tweet section. Now I'm going to show you right now. That's us live on the Twitter. Sorry, phone battery in it.
Oh yeah,
so
I forgot
that's
I
us
could do
live. No, that's us live on the Twitter. And I'm basically like, see, I can point now and wave, and you'll see me waving in a second. That one. Wait, how far behind are we on this? Wait, what's going on? Anyway, yeah. What's the delay on this? Let me swear at myself. Anyway, but I'm well behind. So in about 12 years, when you see this on Twitter, hello everyone. So hello people on Twitter. There's two people. Watching on Twitter. So amazing. Hello Tom in the future.
All right, so talk to me if you want to talk to me anyways about that goal at the end.
I'll get serious. All right. Okay. I've still not seen it because why would I have? I don't watch the Premier League.
Oh, very true.
But I will waste all your time on a Monday night by filibustering about it.
All right.
But
yeah, go ahead.
No, but seriously, I mean, what do you want me to say? You're not playing well, but you're winning football matches. So, it's not ideal, but it's a lot better than playing really well. Like Burnley will tell you they're playing well. The table don't reflect it, though, does it?
Mm-mm.
The goals they're conceded don't reflect that they're trying to put the ball on the floor, be un-Burnley like. They're playing football the right way. Vincent Kompany's got them playing nice stuff, and then they're getting beaten again and again and again. Whereas you're on the other foot, like you're the team that Burnley, for example. I mean, they probably didn't dominate you, but you're the team that they're looking at going, how are we dominating the game? Or how are we playing nice football and not getting the points? And you're sat there going, thank you for the 3 points. That's what you did at Brentford. And that's what you probably do next week. And you'll probably do it last week and next week or whatever. And as long as you're picking up those points, who gives a flying fuck how you got them?
True.
Well said.
Yeah, by the end of the season, they won't be talking about how we got these points. So for sure, we're going to the chat real quick, and we'll have Spencer have his say. Yeah. Oh, you're still waiting for Matt to come back. Yeah, I don't know if he'll be back this season. We'll see about next. Yeah, we'll see about that.
For his liking, I imagine.
Matt's been pretty busy, as everybody knows. I've heard a lot about him from other people, and in other chats I've seen his name come up. So there you go. But I'm doing my thing. We're doing our thing. So there you go.
He's always been nice to me, to be fair.
Huh?
He's always been nice to me, to be fair.
He doesn't have he has a different view than all of us on the chat, but I think I like that because that means we're not all saying the same things over and over again. So,
well, also it gives me and Spencer time to talk about Arsenal. So I mean,
true. Spencer, talk to me. that
can be
that last minute of the game. You know,
Gary, I can be more controversial if you want me to. I can do this. It's okay.
I could be
But I won't.
controversial if I want to as well. I
know.
just say how I feel as opposed to I'm just going to do something totally different.
One of my favorite episodes of the trip was when Stan was on here and he kept countering everything you said. But anyway, I digress. It was a great team goal. Like, I say this much about it, the game, and I've had 2-3 days to think about it, and I've looked over the statistics and the progressive passes. I'm kind of a nerd when it comes to heat maps and all that crap, so I'm sorry if I bore people when I talk about it. But when Kai came on, it kind of opened the game up a little bit. I think when me and Gary were doing the watch along, the big complaint was we're so slow in our buildup, and there's not this quickness. And granted, that is kind of by design to not allow for the counterattack. So there is some sort of reason on that. We went from being creative to controlling, and the goal was perfect. But I think I looked at it. Trossard had 7 crosses on Saturday, and I think there was a moment. And the big percentage of our attacks came from the right-hand side. I think I read 42% of the attacks came from there. So for me, the answer may be, especially in these games with the low block, what we saw, where you take it and you just cross it and see what happens in the box. Now, they tried and it didn't work out a lot on Saturday, but it's like BX said, I don't think we were terrible for 80 minutes. I just think we were average for 80 minutes. And didn't have that. We didn't find the breakthrough until we threw Kai on there, in my opinion. But that also,
we got in the back who wants to hear you talk as well, so we'll let him in, and then we'll let you continue. So, joining the show as well,
Tony
is Tony Turner has joined us. Welcome to the show, Tony.
Hello, guys.
All right, we'll let you
Tony, you little fucker.
Okay,
I'm still alive. Why are you cussing me already, you fucker?
All right.
What is that language on this show?
Jesus, man.
Hang on. Sorry. Before we go to the long, someone in a lead shirt's just sticking his finger up at me on Twitter. I don't know why.
Oh, great. All right.
Anyway,
so Spencer, continue on, and then we'll go around the horn here.
So, I mean, you got the clean sheet. That's 10 goals conceded in 13 games. You're on pace to concede 27 goals in the season, which is more than enough to win the Premier League. I have to look at the statistics of the last 10 years of the league winners, but that puts you in that conversation. You conceded, I think, 44 goals in the league last year. So, we've gotten a lot better. And I did send the group something that potentially maybe you'll be interested in talking to later, Gary, about the FFP and why I think we will not go for anybody in January unless we sell. But we can do that at a later time.
We've already been warned over.
Do what, Tony?
I said we've already been warned by the FA last year to watch our spending. So I think we'll have to watch it pretty closely.
Very true. All right, hit it. Anything else? Spencer?
No, we can come back to it later. I see BX has an interesting comment that I do think at the end of the day we're going to potentially have, and I think Gary, you've said this. Mm-hmm. It's time to put Kai up at the 9 position. And I would love to see Trossard at the 8 again. I thought it went pretty well for the most part, but Brentford is a tough game. I think we'll have more success against Wolves on Saturday, but we also have a Champions League game this week that's very important to get ourselves out of the group.
Yep.
So big week for Arsenal. Could be an excellent week.
Cool. All right, Lonzo. Kai comes to the rescue.
Yeah. So. Well, I had to be at work at 1:30, so my time. So I didn't watch all the game. I just caught majority of it. And as I was driving to work.
We go through the whole game. Did you see this goal scored?
Yeah. So I'm gonna get to that
let's
point.
Talk about the goal scored, and then we're going backwards. So I'll give you all the time in the world to talk about the game, but let's try and talk about the goal itself because I want to keep us a little bit focused, huh?
Okay, so whenever I got to work, I just put the game on in the break room, and a little bit later they scored, and I was just so excited because Kai Havertz finally did his part, and we fans have all been waiting for him to make an impact, right? And seeing the build-up play with Saka and Odegaard, and then Saka scored a cross, got the cross to Havertz. That's all Havertz ever wanted was either cross and score a goal. And it was quite fitting how it came at the last minutes of the game. Though, Gary, you mentioned that there was no emotion with Havertz. Maybe he was just so surprised that he got a goal and that he didn't know he forgot how to react with scoring a goal. Since it's been kind of a long time scoring a goal from open play. So, just seeing the crowd get into it is pretty cool too. Singing the song and singing his name is pretty awesome, man. I just thought that I think that song's a pretty cool song, man.
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, I was really excited, and you guys were saying that Brentford played a good game. I think they held Arsenal to a pretty defensive battle. I think they played probably the back, I believe. So you got to give credit to them. They defended pretty well. I thought that the whole game until the final stages there, they hung us pretty. They hung with Arsenal pretty good there at the end, to the end rather.
Yep, their defense is supposed to be pretty key, and they did exactly what they needed to do defensively to keep themselves in the game and wait for an Arsenal mistake, which came twice. We were lucky enough, I think, to escape without giving up a goal. But yeah, we'll take that. So Tony, talk to me. We're going in the backwards, we're going backwards. So we're going to go from the goal backwards. So talk to me about the goal.
Well, he scored. That's why you pay nearly $70 million for him. Pretty simple. That's what he should be doing. I don't think you're going to see it very much. I think we could have spent the money better elsewhere. But that's pretty much it about the goal.
Cool. All right. And that's it. All right. So we'll go. So we'll continue on. And the reason why, luckily, it was still 0-0 is that defensively we were pretty good. We were just as good as Brentford was. They had a different kind of formation than us, of course, but our defense kind of kept them at bay. And except for some mistakes, which seems to be our calling card, that we're always gonna have a mistake here or there in a game, and not necessarily a team will break us down. But a couple of mistakes and a couple of kind of flaky moments in the game, I believe, and they got their opportunities. They were not lucky to score. We had 2 clearances off the line. Rice and Zinchenko both cleared the ball off the line. Else this game could have gone totally different, and we looked like we just couldn't get that final touch, that final ball into the box, and that's kind of why we kept the game close. But yeah, for me, the defense does what it always does, and that's why I'm happy we got that. The offense needs to kick in gear. We need to figure out what that is going forward. So, yeah, I think I believe our attacking will get better, but I'm hoping that happens pretty soon. So we'll go here, Mr. Tom. I was just talking about the defense and the offense, kind of, and that's where defense is really good. Offense still not there, still not clicking.
Okay. I can I can make something up.
You don't have to tell me you're going to make something up. You can just tell me what you got to say.
Okay. Well, basically, I felt Brentford had this really interesting style that they enforced on Arsenal, and then Arsenal were lucky that they had the defensive capabilities to withstand it, and then it all just basically built up, didn't it, to that cross that created the moment that Alonso got really excited about.
Very true. Very true. And the one thing about you talk about the cross is earlier in the game, I believe there was a cross, and I think we were sitting there, and we'll get in.
I remember it, yeah.
Spencer and Saka, for some reason, decided not to run, and the ball just went pretty much out of bounds. And
it's probably too tired, Gary.
He might have been able to run in there and get a foot in there, and maybe score. And as much as we are missing a tall player inside the middle, I think we were missing players that actually understand that we put crosses in, And maybe that's a good way to score as well. Spencer.
Playing against Macedonia makes people tired.
That game did not make anybody tired. Sleepy?
It made me tired, Gary, because I had to watch it. No, I didn't. I was at work.
Yeah, Spencer. So I was just talking about the offense and defense and kind of where we are, and that's kind of where this kind of game is kind of fitting of where we are with our offense and defense.
Yeah, I mean it's going to become difficult. I think So I think we're going to see some of our most successful offensive output against teams that play similar to us, and I'd be like that other team, playing City, playing United, where it's a little bit more wide open, where they're willing to take chances. So I think that's where you'll see a lot of the success, and it's just going to come down to opportunities. I think I read somewhere we're 5th in the league with shots per game. So now the question becomes making better shots, right? So this is part of the progression of the season where, you're 13 games in, 30 points, first place. Yeah, we've talked about that, but it's going to be putting those chances away. So I'm interested to see what the lineup's going to look like as we keep going through the holiday season, which is going to be a lot of fixtures. No Carabao Cup. We have the Champions League games, of course, but in that 23rd against Liverpool, not to jump too far ahead, but Declan Rice maybe getting I don't know if ESR is back by that time, and Zinchenko's the other one. He was very critical. He had 93% of his passes were completed on a Saturday, and that's 2 games in a row now where he's been in the high 90s for his passes for the game. So there's a lot of, and I think that was something I was thinking about earlier today, Gary, is Zinchenko. I know we talked about him being a left back, and you see him more in the midfield, right? Maybe that becomes, you put him in the 8 position, right? So there's options there for this team. But it's all about putting your chances away when you have an opportunity to put them away. And Kai did it. Saka set up a good pass. It's. I mean, that's an interesting discussion there about moving Jesus to attacking mid.
We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that later. Continue.
Yeah. Well, no. I think we're headed in the right direction now. I mean, it's not what we want, but we're getting the results we want. So at the end of the day, we're still progressing in this marathon battle with City. So keep it going, man.
Yep.
You're trying to do a reverse Arsenal fan circle on us.
Who, me?
No, Gary, going backwards and then talking about every
that.
minute going backwards. Yeah, well,
I already said that.
Tony.
I know. I just started the show with that. I mean, maybe he wasn't listening, Tony. He doesn't listen to anyone.
Right?
He just does his own thing. Tony's a
I
rebel.
was listening.
Mr. Tom's a rebel. He just does his own thing. Sorry, I said Tony, but I meant to say Mr. Tom because usually you're the one not listening. So
It's
Alonso,
funny, Gary, you say that. On my wrestling show, Tony is doing what I do now. Where he doesn't pay attention and then just does what the fuck he wants.
I was listening to it. I thought.
It's your wrestling show now.
It's his wrestling. It's your wrestling show. That's not, even though he's the co-host. But anyways, Alonso, talk to me. Talk to me about this game. I mean, yes, we got the goal, but as somebody said, the 89 minutes before that. Talk to me about it.
Yeah, I mean, like I said before, Arsenal have a hard time at times during some games that they have a hard time breaking down the opposition's defense. And Thomas Frank's a good coach. He set his team up to play Arsenal defensively, and to play well enough to where it took Arsenal last minute to score a goal. There were times in the game that we had a shot on goal here and there, but really not convincing enough to where you could go on net. I'm sure we'll talk about this later on, Gary, but Ramsdale had a couple of mishaps there during the game that was pretty crazy. And it kind of shows you that Declan Rice is just not a good midfielder. He's a great midfielder defensively. To have that presence to cover for Ramsdale in that moment. and we could have been 1-0 down. So I think when you have all those things happen to you, you learn from it and you grow. And I think that's why we're in first place, because it's moments like that that make you stronger during the game. And though Ramsey had a couple of mistakes there, we're used to it. Arsenal are used to it with Riley making those same mistakes. They may not have been big mistakes, but they would have been costly. So yeah, I mean, I think Spencer mentioned it like some podcasts ago that you're seeing more of a defensive Arsenal team than years past, where we're more offensive. In the past, they've been more possessions and more attacking. Now you're seeing Arsenal have more possession and playing more defensively. So I think that's why you're seeing less goals so far. I don't think Arsenal has played to their potential yet, and that's what's so scary about the current squad. And I think everyone knows their part already now. I think you have a guy like Tomiyasu who could come in for Ben White and or Zinchenko. It kind of says a lot about how the team is now has the proper depth, where in the past we struggled because we had lack of depth. So I think sometimes wins can come ugly, and as long as we get the win and the wins, I'm okay with that.
I hear you. Yep, Mr. Tony will have you talk as well. Talking a little bit about basically everything up to the 89th minute. I think I don't know about you, but I can't believe once again we're struggling against a team towards the bottom. I believe they're at the bottom, towards the bottom half of the.
Why are we
right?
surprised? We got a bunch of these players that's played too many minutes. We got questionable goalkeepers. We have a problem with our savior. Jesus isn't our savior. We talk about crosses and all that early. He's not good enough. He shouldn't be on there. It should be the two guys that can score for you. The most clinical guys should be out there, and you should put guy back probably behind as a first nine.
Yeah, that's one thought.
But to me, you have 14 shots, 8 corners, 4 goals on target. That's not good. Like I said, you have a very questionable goalkeeping, especially with Ramsdale. He's more questionable than the other one because the other one can use his feet. He can kick the ball longer if he wants to, and he's more accurate with his passes from the back. But the good thing we do, our saviors are, we got Gabriel and we got Saliba.
Very true. Very true. Very true. We'll say hi to a couple of people and then we'll continue on. Why not?
Hi or Kai? Which one did you say, Gary? Hi or Kai?
It don't matter, does it?
Say Kai, everybody.
Swinette has joined us. Welcome to the show. Of course, he's Arteta out, even in wins. So I feel Kubior needs a good run to establish himself. He's technically very good defensively and offensively, yeah. And so Arteta, as I always talk about rotation. So Arteta feels he can rotate players, we're going to have problems. So we'll see. Havertz out. You say hello, welcome to the show. Why not? But yeah, no, we'll get into it now. We'll talk about individual players, and I guess we'll start from the back line and we'll move forward. As you said, and I'll let you guys speak, and I'll go backwards this time. So, Mr. Tom, you go last. But we'll let Tony.
You better think of a different question by the time it gets to me. I have no fucking clue what to say about.
I have a different question for you then.
Wonderful.
Well, that's the AI. Tap into my.
All right, so we'll talk
Yeah,
about
Tommy.
Ramsdale because that's the only person. We'll go
That's a
through
good idea,
just
Tommy. Actually,
4 different lines, and we'll start off with Ramsdale. Well, if that was an interview, he bombed it. So Tony, talk to me about Ramsdale.
Yeah, I don't know why he switched back to him. Spending that much money means that he's Arteta's first choice. So it's kind of sketchy putting him out there. You can tell he hasn't been playing with the first team. He looked very very easy to get past if they wanted you bad enough. Luckily, they didn't have good enough offense to beat us, but he almost gifted them with 2 goals. And we could have lost if he gifted them those 2 goals.
Very true. All right, as we continue on, Lonzo, talk to me about our second goalkeeper, soon to be probably not even part of the squad, according to some.
I hope Ramsdale gets an extension. I can't stand Raya. I
hope Ramsdale gets an extension.
Ramsdale, yeah.
He just signed a contract last year.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
I
was just joking around. Yeah. So Ramsdale, I think he's been treated unfairly. I hate the fact that Arteta is used by this long if he's going to go that route. But we all knew it was coming that Ray would be first choice. And I wish this could have been avoided. I think there's flaws in both of them, so there's no perfect goalkeeper here. They both obviously made mistakes throughout the year. I think Reyes had a couple that were important mistakes. Ramsdale, of course, whenever you haven't played in a long time, you're gonna be nervous. That's no excuse, but that's a feeling that I had from Ramsdale was that he was trying to just do a little bit too much when he didn't need to. So of course there's gonna be mistakes there. I think Ramsdale just tries too hard to do little things right, and that's what's hurt him in the past. Raya has issues as well, and it's well documented. So you're basically playing with 2 goalkeepers that are mistake prone, and that's not going to help the squad get better. It's just you're going to have to depend on your defense to stop these goals from happening, because it works both ways. Either for Ramsdale, some people prefer Raya. It's just a tough situation because they're both number ones. So we all have our favorites. It depends on Arteta what he wants to do. And from what I see and from what I hear, he apparently favors Raya over Ramsdale. So whether or not Arsenal are going to sell Ramsdale and get the value for him, it's up to them, because who wants to pay for a goalkeeper that's going to sit on the bench all the time? And that's been our issue. That's been Arsenal's issue, is that they want to sell players, but they don't get the high maximum profit from the other team rather. So it's a mess, and I think every supporter from Arsenal understands that it would come to this point. So from a standpoint, it is what it is. I think it would have been better if Arteta would have communicated better with Ramsdale, but clearly I don't think he did, and that's just frustrating as an Arsenal fan.
I hear you. I think as much as I've always said it, and we'll let as much as I ever say, but as much as we've always said that I've said that Arteta basically kills the value, or Arteta and Arsenal kill the value of their players. I think Ramsdale's done a lot of that all by himself, which is disappointing because Arsenal deserve, probably could have sold him for a little bit more, but we'll see how that all pans out. So, Spencer, talk to me about the goalkeeper. And before we say, just want to say hi to I guess Lord Greenwood, as some of you know, he's a new person on this in our chat room now.
Yeah. Clemson won 16-7. Lord Greenwood, in case you wanted to know.
Yeah.
And Merry Christmas to you. So goalkeeping wise, this is as far as Ramsdale's performance. I know I had a small disagreement or discussion about the fumble, but I will give you this. I had an Everton buddy. I talked to him today. I sent something to Tom about this. I'm not going into that realm, but this is what he did tell me about Raya. So we talked about Ramsdale and Raya, and he thinks Ramsdale doesn't deserve to be in a top 6 club, his opinion. But he also believes that Everton should have sold Pickford a long time ago and bought Raya and moved on from Pickford. So that gives you where his mentality is on David Raya. But with that being said, we do have the best goalkeeping in the league. Statistically this year, 6 clean sheets, the best against crosses. Ramsdale's came into 4 games this year, and for not playing the amount of time, I thought he did okay. There was those 2 wonky moments. He's just not good on the ball like Raya is. So that's the thing that I've noticed as further as we go along here. I would argue that Ramsdale's a little bit better shot stopper, but Raya's better on the ball. So that becomes down to your preference on what you want your goalkeeper to do. Do you want your goalkeeper to play out from the back or to play long? And you look at Ramsdale, there's a couple times where I think he should have played long, right? That's outcome analysis, but we got the clean sheet. The guy hasn't played a lot. So it was kind of expected for it to be a little wonky, right? And we talked about how of all the positions on the field, that's the one that's the least forgiving and the least amount of reps, and it can really hurt you.
I hear you. Yeah. And I'm going to say hi to a couple people to talk about Ramsdale, and then we'll get on to Mr. Tom, and he'll tell us a little bit about
he's asleep.
Probably what's going on in the championship, I guess.
We've got to do the goalkeeper question. I've got the answer.
Okay. 5 minutes ago, you said you wanted a new question, so I figured
we can do that too. We can do that too, but I can do the goalkeeper first.
He went to AI.
All right, we got Stefan has joined us, everyone. So welcome to the show, Stefan. But
Stefan was woken up from his Saturday slumber, where he basically he took his ball and went home because the football didn't go his way.
I was gonna get into.
Screw you guys! I'm going home.
Going into Ramsdale, and for me, I don't care which one of the goalkeepers we keep, because as everybody will say, they're not perfect. They're not significantly better than each other. There are things that each other does that the other one doesn't. I think the one thing that Raya does is he probably does what Arteta wants. Doesn't look right sometimes, but he does that. I've heard many people say, and I didn't notice this, that during the game, Arteta was asking Ramsdale to do certain things, and when he didn't do it, he was getting physically upset about it. And if you're not doing what the manager wants you to do, I think then then you probably don't get to play. I don't know, even if it's wrong, and they said this is how I want to play. And I think at some point you're going to have to do what they say to see if it does work. Arteta's been right about a lot of things, even though we've said we don't like any of it. It seems to be working so far. So, that's probably one of the things as well. Raya maybe will take the risk and play with the ball at the back a little bit longer than Ramsdale. Ramsdale is probably less comfortable doing that. So, yeah. But I think this whole situation is created by Arteta. That's why I say it's all on him, no matter what goalkeepers do.
You've gone back to Arteta again.
Because he's the one creating the
His name's
drama.
Arteta. Arteta.
Whatever his name is. Do you care? You don't even
Yeah.
care.
I care because I just fucking commented. So yeah, I care.
You don't care. You don't care. We don't
I
care.
care.
If
Is there no element of
if I
Spanish
mumble his
mafia to it?
name, I'm sorry, people. But that's what I do. I mumble once in a while. So, yeah. But I think the goalkeeping situation that's all been created by Arteta, Mikel, whatever you want to call him, and
I
Little
have a
man.
question.
that's
Gary,
he's created this mess.
Gary.
Yes, sir.
But here's the thing, though.
Yeah.
It is a mess, right? Because there's the drama and the discussion with it.
Yeah.
But it hasn't hurt us yet, which I think has been the fortunate thing, because that was my biggest concern about the swap. If there was a rotation, well, why'd you start Ramsdale this week? You lost. Why'd you start Raya this week? It lost. It hasn't really bit him yet, although there has been moments that have looked squirrely. He's been very fortunate that we're still in first place, and there hasn't been this massive like, oh my God, why'd you pick this guy over this guy this week? I mean, I know Tony mentioned earlier about why Ramsdale was out there. Raya couldn't play because of the loan deal agreement. But, it is interesting. It's going to go down in the annals of I think, I don't say live or die with Arteta because he's already let Martinez go, right? That one's already been gone. He let Leno go for Ramsdale, and now he's going to let Ramsdale go for Raya. And in a couple of years, he'll let someone else go for Raya.
Yeah, and I just think he's been lucky. That's all. Pretty lucky about this. He's always been lucky at the beginning of the season. We end up finding we've got a player that we didn't expect. Injury happens, and we see and we go, oh my, this guy's better than the one we had before. And then we go from there. So, Mr. Tom, talk to me.
Before we go to Tom, can I say something, Gary?
What do you want to say, Tommy? I can't see you. Is that on purpose?
Oh, I forgot to get it when I came back.
Hey.
He forgot
Yeah.
to put his camera on. Brilliant.
Anyway,
Go on.
hopefully, if you said this is our Arteta problem, it's very much our Arteta problem. Matt Ryan communicated in Spanish and English to the back line to get them to do good. You could have kept him and Leno and probably been in fine shape. Went through Leno, went through your guy like from South America. So we're on like our 8th goalkeeper. So the problems with Arteta, if a goalkeeper can't play out from the back, then don't play out from the back. It's not rocket science. It's his problem because, like I said, if you have 8 or 9 guys in 4 years, something's wrong somewhere. Either the scouting is shit or the coaching method and style is shit.
I hear
The
you.
later's truth.
Yep. No, I mean, you've said it. We've all said it. Arteta is stubborn. He plays the same way no matter who plays. And he was playing with poor players, and now he's got better players coming on. So we don't see the difference anymore when we bring on some of our bench players. So, Mr. Tom, talk to me a little bit about about our goalkeeper
Right.
situation, and then give us a little
Right.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So, is it to my understanding, your manager is Spanish, the coaching staff, specifically the goalkeeping coach, is Spanish, and the new goalkeeper is also Spanish. Is it not like some Spanish mafia, and that is freezing at? It's freezing at. What's his name? Ramsdale. Like, I'm surprised it's being discussed at length when it's quite obvious that they just want to keep it between themselves. Like, it doesn't actually matter what Ramsdale does. Ramsdale could literally he could make 1,000 saves and they're still going to pick their new mate.
Yeah. I think it's decided.
I hear you. But or it could just be he does what they asked him to do.
Generally, though, they are asked to not concede goals, and he succeeded on Saturday.
Yeah, and Ray has done the same thing as well. So
Tom,
between the two of
where's your
them,
friend?
they've
where's your
both
friends at?
given up not that many goals, huh?
As I spent time where his friends out, I have all my Christmas decorations out, and I don't
What?
see one single penguin.
What are we talking about this for? We're talking about some football. Can we talk about football?
He's talking about his
Because we-
penguin.
Nobody
We
needs to
care.
see Derek. Derek will come out when he comes out. All right. Don't rush it.
It's still technically November, Tony.
I know exactly. What are you rushing things for? Come on. So, Mr. Tom,
It's
talk
not
to
for
me.
Thanksgiving.
We've talked about the goalkeepers. I know you might have
Right.
had something else you wanted to
Okay.
add to this.
Okay. Thank you,
Yes.
Gary. I appreciate the time. I asked my friend Barry, who may or may not be an artificial intelligence. Okay. I said, Barry, your hair looks wonderful today, but I have a question for you. Should Arsenal drop goalkeeper Aaron Ramsdale from their starting lineup? And Barry, the exact response from Barry was, "Oh, the age-old debate about football lineups. Well, as a virtual friend, I don't have personal opinions, but Aaron Ramsdale has been performing quite well lately. Ultimately, it's up to the Arsenal coaching staff to make their decision. What do you think?" To which then I just simply replied, "I think you're great, Barry."
You didn't
Yeah.
ask him who was better. The
Nope.
Spanish,
I didn't want to put
Spanish
Barry
listening.
under too much pressure. It's a bit
Oh,
unfair.
I hear you.
It's a bit unfair. He only
hear ya.
knows everything.
All right, we'll continue on.
Yeah.
We'll continue on.
One more
Yeah.
thing. Sorry,
Uh-oh.
Mr. Spencer, as in Scroggins here up the top, not Alonso Spencer. I can see how that would get. Anyway, he may have made an image that I think should be shared.
I don't even know what this means in regards to an Arsenal chat.
It
What
has
is
nothing
this?
to do with Arsenal.
I know
Has nothing to
exactly.
do with
So that's
Arsenal.
why I'm like, what is that all about?
Has nothing to do with Arsenal.
That's why I didn't want to put it up, because I'm like, what is this nonsense? So here we go.
Yeah.
Here we go. So a lot of like, I don't even know what that.
Spencer went to the time to make it. It needs to be aired.
Why did he make something about Arsenal? Why did it have to be about something that has nothing to do with Arsenal?
Because not everything in life is about Arsenal,
Nothing to do
Gary.
with Premier League
Some
football.
things are about CM Punk.
I literally thought it would add enjoyment to the show, Gary. So
I'm sorry.
took some creative liberty, and I made that meme quicker than Tom got that bullcrap answer from Barry, the AI guy. So I don't know, man.
Oh, all right. Sorry, I was ungrateful for that. I'm sorry.
No, it's funny.
All right, so let's get into. I don't know what you guys. I don't really feel like we need to talk much about the back line, and I think I think the back line is what it is. They've been pretty good. So we'll move into the midfield, and we'll talk about that. I think for me, I was happy to see Trossard in the game. And
before we move on, Gary, quick question: have we had any updates on Timber can come back?
What does that have to do with? Can we get through the game and we'll talk about Timbers? Actually, I haven't started. We'll talk about those who aren't here in a bit.
You were talking about our back line. Our back line better with Timber.
In this game, Timber didn't play.
I know it, Gary. You're
Get back to players. I have heard March. I've heard in the new year, but ACL. I think it'll be. They're not going to rush him back. We'll be lucky if he plays, but I don't. I think he won't be. He won't be until the new season comes. So
how do we have players injured for 9 months? No updates on the type of injury. No updates on timeline. Why does World Football just say fuck it on injuries and not tell anybody anything?
It's an ACL injury. Those things can take up to a year to heal. So, as somebody who had one, I can see why. You have to get comfortable moving and all that stuff once again and get the strength up, endurance, all that stuff. So, Timber is not here right now, and we'll be lucky to have him back in March. And even then, what do we? We're not going to get. He's not probably going to be ready to start until April, May, anyways. But I was going in the midfield. It's happy to see Trossard there. Rice is solid, right? Erdegaard was coming back from injury. So I'm not expecting much out of Erdegaard to start. I think it's going to be a bit of time. So I wasn't surprised that he didn't look himself, and some people will say, but he was part of the reason why we got the goal at the end. So, the talent does shine through. Trossard didn't do as much as I thought he would, but he did have some opportunities to score. So I think it's one of those things where if we have Trossard out there and we just let them play for a bit, we might see some good things. I think if we just look at it in this one game, then we'll probably go, no, it's not worth it, and we'll change again. So I kind of would like us to actually be able to say, look, this is our starting 11. Let's go with it until we find out it's not that good. I think it would be pretty good to have Trossard out there, and Rice has been pretty stellar in front of that back line, so why not? So that's my take on the midfield. I think it's going to take some time. They're all three of them. That's the first time I think we play with that three. So for it not to work, I think is not a surprise. If you're going to do it, Brentford might be a good game to do it against. They are a little bit solid, but also they're not going to kill you like some other teams will. And we've got a couple of games to figure out whether that's going to work, right? Going into the Liverpool and the Aston Villa games that we have later on in this year. So, Spencer, talk to me about that midfield.
Oh, well. So, I go back to heat maps. Really, the board and the people get bored on heat maps and stuff like that. But the Trossard, Odegaard, and Rice would be the three. I think it works. They had about 195 touches between them. But I want to see the Trossard again. Like I know you and I disagree on Havertz in the midfield, and I still think he's a viable option. He's not part of your best 11 in the midfield, but he can do the business for you there at the 8 position defensively, which at the end of the day, I think that's really what Arteta is pushing this team to be more controlling and defensive. But I'd like to see the Trossard in the midfield again, especially if it's available. I think tomorrow will be interesting to see what the lineup will be. But I think it was well. Trossard had 7 crosses in the game, so he was definitely involved and, should have had that goal. Obviously, he was offside, but, there's such a player there that 8 position, this all comes down to what you want out of the 8 position and what your expectation level is. So that's always been my biggest question when people say, well, this guy didn't play well. What do you expect from that player from the game, right? That becomes, not everybody's job is to go get a goal and assist. Some guy is out there to play defense. So, needless to say, I thought the midfield was good. I'd like to see it again. And yeah, let's see what happens tomorrow. I think we'll see close to what we saw yesterday tomorrow, and we'll see more rotation Saturday against Wolves. So
I hear you. Yeah, we actually don't play till Wednesday, but yeah.
Is it Wednesday? Okay.
Yeah,
Sorry about that.
Wednesday, and Sam says here that it looks like it's ahead of schedule. I get that. Sometimes you rush these things, and I know we typically have been rushing. We've rushed things in the past. We've been a little bit better about that now. So hopefully we don't rush him back, because I rather am healthy for the next season than going in and out the lineup.
Sorry.
All right. So next up, we've got Lonzo. Talk to me about that midfield.
Yeah, I think having Trossard there at the left 8 was pretty neat to see. Though moving forward, I wonder if Arteta would use him more in that area. So, I see Jesus struggling a little bit this year, more so than he did last year.
They stay in the midfield. Stay in the midfield. We'll get to the front line in a bit.
So Odegaard, this year hasn't been playing that good either. Though, you see him still being, in possession and trying to score and trying to do assists. I think that his movement on the ball is pretty good. I think the goal on Saturday kind of says that about him, and his link-up play with Saka has always been Arsenal's strength. And Rice, we know we're going to get out of him. I think Jorginho coming off the bench is pretty solid as well. So I wonder if we ever see Partey in an Arsenal kit again. And I think someone has said, Spencer, I think it was you that said that, moving forward, I think at this point in time, I think Havertz is better off the bench. Until he gets his confidence going, I think you can see him as striker as well. But right now, I think Trezor is better at the number 8, unless Phil comes back. Then I think right now, I think the number 8 should go to Trezor, and it's worked. So you have yet to see that full potential as Trezor being a partner to Odegaard at the 8th position. So I think Arteta is now starting to experiment on lesser teams. But Wolves always scares me because they always play well against us. Besides last spring's game, they always put a close game. So I wonder what Arteta is going to do this weekend. Whether he sticks with Trezor and Odegaard at the 8th position, or if he brings in Jorginho and moves Rice up to the number 8 position. So there's a lot of things they could do there. But I would like to see more of Trezor and Odegaard at number 8's position, both left and right, and see how much more you can get out of that moving forward.
I hear you. Yep. I hear you on that one. Tony, talk to me.
To me, it's a little bit of Connect 4. To me, you should have Tommy Asu back there, left back. Zinchenko, left 8. Just heard 9. Because Jesus isn't good enough. So to me, you do that. That would be plenty good enough because you have Zinchenko that can go forward. You still for protection of Gabriel there on the left. Then Tommy Asu is better, so you're not weak on your.
Yeah, but tell me
side.
before you get into the future, tell me about what you saw in the game though from that midfield.
Rice definitely should be playing back there as alone. 6. And you have Odegaard. And to me, I would put Zinchenko there, but for now it's Sashard. We'll see what happens later.
I hear you. Just all right. There we go. Mr. Tom, anything you want to say about our midfield? We did try something new. Yeah.
What new thing did you try?
But Trossard there. And
Oh, that's interesting. How did that work out for you?
I heard some stats sound like he did actually a good job, but I think it's going to take a bit of time before it works. So, but McQuanico has joined us, so welcome to the show.
I can't have it away.
I know that guy.
That's cool.
We agree not to police how other fans celebrate goals, right? We're not allowed to celebrate goals. What's the point of the football thing? We can't celebrate goals. I mean, that's
I'm usually just grateful that my team scores a goal.
Yeah.
Let alone worrying about how to celebrate it.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I think you should be able to celebrate however you want. If you score a goal, you should be able to celebrate exactly how you want. Because guess what?
I do have one thing to address, though.
Yeah, that's 100% right.
I mean, it's far more. It's nonsense. It's nonsense.
Yes.
I'm not.
I would expect nothing less. Go on.
Yeah, spoiler. It's nonsense. I basically then replied to Barry and said, "My friend Spencer said your answer to the Aaron Ramsdale question was boring. I defended you though, as you're wonderful." And Barry said, "Oh, thanks for defending me. I appreciate your support. Everyone's different opinions, and that's what makes conversations interesting." Now, to be fair to Barry, that sounds exactly like something Spencer would say.
It
does. It does.
Spencer
literally at some point in this show said we had an interesting conversation with a mild disagreement. That is something he said, and that is something that Barry would say. Therefore, Let me do the noise again.
Yeah.
Are they scissoring? Is that a scissor pick there, Tom?
Yeah. So let's get into
Oh,
it.
No, that's more of a.
I don't know what that meant, but
I don't know
Spencer,
what it means either.
Spencer, you're married, right? So
What?
you're married,
married.
right?
Yeah, I'm married.
Yeah. Just tell her you're not interested in whatever Mr. Tom's doing.
Oh, I wasn't listening, Gary. I'm sorry. I had moved on. I was looking at more Arsenal statistics to make better points for myself.
There you go.
I'm trying to defend my place here on the trip.
Oh, there you go. All right.
In other words, he doesn't
I'm
give a
sorry,
damn
Tom.
what Tom
Barry
says.
knows Spencer. There you go. See,
He does.
Yeah.
He
All right,
does.
so let's
little
get-
green
let's
lady.
get into it. That,
Tom said they're just standing defending Spencer.
yeah, Spencer. Spencer,
Billy let you down the wrong way.
he likes
Yeah.
his numbers more than he
Right.
likes what Mr. Tom had to say. But let's get into it. Let's talk about that front line, and we'll get into where we go from here. For me, that front line, still
Because it's hot.
still not clicking as much as and when I say clicking, it's because I don't see any goals and it's just coming out of it. 89 minutes of almost, or why didn't we actually take the shot, or why didn't you make the run? Jesus, I think for me, I said it. I'll let him start just because if he can play for Brazil, then he can play for Arsenal. But I also did say, we'll need to sub him because he won't last. So he could have got on at halftime. I don't think it would have made a difference, but it was good to see him in there. I think the more he plays with their front three, hopefully it does click at some point. Martinelli and Saka were almost. There were like a lot of almosts there. I know they talked about the double teams that they're getting, and for me, I'm not. They were getting it last year, so it's no different. They just don't have any answers, and I think one answer for me is don't wait for the double team to come. They're going to only bring one person, take them. We don't do that either, so I think it's going to click at some point, hopefully, or something different's going to have to change. Maybe that is Havertz. Maybe that is Havertz moving into the middle, and maybe that will open things up and change things around, or maybe that is Trossard and Jesus playing, one behind the other, kind of in the middle there, or front two maybe. Something we need to do something different because what we're doing now doesn't work. So
there's a common theme, Gary. If you listen to every commenter throughout our different games, there's one theme that they all say: we don't play quick enough. Which is the case because we get up front, we look to pass it into the back of the net instead of doing what you've said a million times, just shoot the ball.
Yep.
I mean, we just spend too much time dilly-dallying around with the ball. Get it up with pitch because you have athletes. You have Martinelli. You got Saka. Just go up there.
One thing I've heard kind of along those same lines is plays of the older days. Well, they actually are allowed to kind of utilize their skills a little bit more. It wasn't this whole cookie cutter kind of approach. Like at some point they could actually do what they do best, right? And then they can actually do be their own creator of what's going on, as opposed to what seems to happen now is that there's rules. There's rules of how to attack. Not well. The defender is going to do this, so do you do that kind of thing? And so I think
doesn't that boil down to what Arteta's done for 4 years? Micromanaging takes the creativity out of the game. I think he does.
Yeah,
I don't
it's
think
probably true for
any
a lot.
saying he doesn't.
It's probably true for a lot of managers right now. So that's kind of how I feel like that's been going. But I'll let Spence have his say on that. But that front line for me, I think, still not clicking. I don't know if we need to change it, but I don't know if we can do worse than a front line of Martinelli, Jesus, and Saka. Or should I say better? Do better. Sorry.
So,
what do you mean, Gary? We've seen that 7 games last year. What happened? I still hold steadily we would have won the lead if Jesus didn't get back in the lineup.
Well, that same front three, if you recall, is the reason why we were at the top of the league before the welcome.
Wait,
So
we had a very easy opening schedule, Gary.
what difference does it make? It was playing, it was clicking, you know. So sorry, Spencer, but go right ahead. Talk to me
No,
about that
It
front
wasn't.
three.
It wasn't clicking when he came back, Gary.
I mean,
Got it.
We lost
Yeah,
that league last year because we fell apart defensively. I mean, that's Rob Holding versus William Saliba. I mean, but needless to say, I think my biggest beef, and you and I discussed this.
Spitzer, you're forgetting somebody. He just bragged on him 30 minutes ago. He could have played. He could have saved us from
Arteta?
scoring more goals, and we could have won the league. He's good enough. You don't think he's better than Rob Holding?
Who?
You just said his name earlier. One of
What?
our center backs. You're talking up one of our center backs. When it comes in off the bench.
Barry, do you know the answer? Because I don't know the answer. I forgot. Tom,
Kivior.
ask Barry quickly.
Kivior.
Oh, Kivior. Yeah, but people were cussing for people were. Yeah, but people weren't trusting Kivior either. I remember not this complete show, but I saw people saying Kivior wasn't good enough, and then he started to play now and he's looked better. But I mean, yeah, we could. I think Kivior should have played instead of Holding, but I go back to like the forward line. So I'll go back to Gary's question, and I'm not dogging your question, Tony. I'm just going to go back to what Gary was asking about. My biggest beef is the creative runs, and I think I've said it in the chat earlier. I know it. I don't know who mentioned it. I think it was Arsenal Misfit. They said there weren't a lot of overlaps. There weren't a lot of overlaps in the traditional sense that we a lot of times see Ben White take the ball to the corner flag and set up Saka. So my biggest beef is if Saka's going to take a double team, that means somebody's man or zone is now wide open, right? So it's like I used to tell kids, move to the open space. So it's all about the creative runs at this point. I think Martinelli had 7 progressive carries. Saka had 6 on Saturday. So
What the world was that?
I don't know.
It sounded like Darth
Just a
Vader
fucking
trying to
noise
get in.
machine.
What the world was that?
I don't know.
Somebody claim that.
That wasn't me.
Somebody
can't-
claim it.
How am I supposed to make 2?
No, I'm not saying you. I'm saying somebody claim that.
I think it's the guy up top.
You gotta claim that one.
Tony.
Why with me?
All right.
But
Nobody's
no, it
claiming
comes down
it.
to the creative runs. That front 3 is probably the best 3 you got right now. I looked at Eddie's stats when he came on, and Eddie had about as many touches as Havertz did in almost twice the amount of time. Eddie was kind of a passenger on Saturday. We saw the shot he took. I mean, let's go back to that play, right, Gary? We had a 3-on-2 odd man rush. I think you had Trossard up there, Odegaard, and Saka all running. And yeah, you want your striker to take the shot, but that wasn't the shot that should have been taken. That ball should have been crossed to the middle of the pitch. Odegaard could have put it in, potentially Saka. But that was the one sub that I think you and I were talking on Saturday. We're like, I don't know if Eddie's the guy to bring on right now, but he still won the game. But those top 3, I mean, everything goes through Martinelli and Saka. 42% of the attacks came from Saka's side. I don't know. Whoever made that noise got my wife cracking up. So
It's just like, it's just weird.
Come on now.
Nobody claimed it. All right. Somebody's like somebody
What do you
farted.
mean claim it? It was
and you don't
obviously Alonso. What are we doing?
He's not claiming it. He's not claiming it.
I don't think he knows.
He doesn't even know what he did. Did you know what you did?
Nothing.
See?
See?
Yeah, of course he didn't.
I know my people. He didn't claim it. Spencer, you done?
I'm done.
Sounds like you're
I'm
done.
too busy.
We'll come back.
I'm too busy putting food in my mouth to do it. So.
There you go.
It
All
wasn't
right.
Gary. It wasn't Spencer.
All
It
right.
wasn't Tom.
Alonso, who didn't do
There's
it.
my culprit.
The gloves don't fit. So we have to quit, basically.
Read one,
Talk to
let's
me,
go.
Alonso. Alonso, talk to me about that front line.
Why not say Gary?
Yeah.
Fuck's sake, Tony. Can
Talk
I
to you at
talk
the
to
front
him?
line.
Well, first I gotta ask permission if I can speak from Tony because he keeps on interrupting me.
He's interrupting everybody. We just have to deal with it.
All right, for me, it's a conundrum, right? Whenever you have Jesus and Nkedia, you always ask yourself when and if are you going to get the best out of the two? And I think we're all getting tired of him and wasting his chance at Arsenal. And because of that, in my opinion, you're having to use Martinelli and Saka more so than you ever have to make things happen. With Jesus, he just seems like he has no clue what he's doing. He takes chances, and then they're off target by a mile. So we know how good he could be, right? But the issue is that with Nkedia is they're both very inconsistent. So you can't really depend on either one of them to be a game changer, so to speak. And there it's kind of hard to say who worked harder than the other one as far as trying to get a goal in or trying to have a good work rate or trying to make things happen. And I suggested it a while back. What if you made Martinelli a striker at number 10 or number 9 position to see if he could do something better, or try something new. Maybe change of formation. We had 2 up top, maybe 1 up top and 1 behind the other. Just to try something because when they're on, in my opinion, and when they're off, they're way off. It seems like so. We're very lucky to have Odegaard and Saka and Martinelli because they could both give you assists and goals. Right now, you don't see it from Nkedia and Jesus, and that's kind of hurting how we play, in my opinion, because this is why I think Trezor is better starting up front than he is at the midfield. Because he works so well with Saka and Martinelli as well. So I'm lost for words. I know why Jesus isn't the same as he was last year, kind of. So as a fan, it's kind of frustrating because we got Jesus from City, and you expected more from him. But who knows why he's struggling? But it's not helping us at all. So, like I said before, I think Martinelli and Saka have been great. But how he played this year, more defensively, I think Saka has been our best player so far this year as far as getting goals and assists. And I think Arsenal depend too much on him.
I hear you. And that's Tony. You got
I'm gonna
anything to
start
say?
out. I'm gonna start
What
out
was
with
our
a.
front
I'm gonna start out with a question for Spencer.
Can we?
'Cause I got-
Told you,
No,
save your question
it's
for last.
about the front line. It's about the front line.
All right.
I've never heard his thought about it. Did we
I want
overpay?
you know what? I want you to tell me about your front line.
I'll give it. Hold on. I've already said my front line, but I'll go back.
Oh, you pretty much.
But anyway, Jesus for 55 million had 6 months on his contract. Isn't that like a great overspend?
What, 55 million on Jesus?
Yeah, when you could have got him in 6 months for free. Because his contract was expiring.
You weren't. Well, I mean, so that's the loaded question because you got yourself back in Champions League, which gets you more money. So paying the $55 million invested got you in the Champions League. So was that money invested? Was it guaranteed you were going to get him on a free? Maybe,
Yeah.
but I also think personally, like the reason he did come to Arsenal is he was promised the 9 position, and no one else was going to promise to play him in the 9 position because a lot of people view him as a winger, right?
Which he is.
Right. So, and I still think eventually he'll get pushed out to the wing. It's still part of my thought process with it, but I think it's a good money spent. It got us to where we needed to be. We didn't win the league last year, so I know people can be like, "Oh, you're settling for." No. The goal was to get back in the Champions League. We wanted to win the league. That was secondary. It didn't happen. And you keep plugging along and you're in first place. So I think it was $55 million well spent. Yeah, you could have had him for free, but there was no guarantee you were going to get him. So Arsenal probably came in at a good deal and nobody else was willing to pay for him. And he's played well for us when he's available. He's one of those guys that, you know, when he's hurt, it does hurt the team, just like Partey, you know, like Partey's one of those ones. I think Jesus is more valuable than Partey, given the options at striker. But yeah, I mean, I agree with like Sam. I mean, it got us back in the Champions League, and what's that worth? If you pay $55 million and it gets you an extra $30 million a year for Champions League, it's a $25 million investment technically, right?
Yeah, but he's still ineffective for half a season. So.
No, and I understand that. And I do think that is 100% accurate. I mean, that has to be brought up. Like, are these players, you know, and that becomes a thing. Why is the parent club selling you, right? There is the FFP perspective. There is, you know, hey, we need to fund it like Brighton. That's part of their business model, right? But there's a reason why some people, elite clubs, let players go, and that can be injuries is another concern. So, I mean, think about Emile Smith-Rowe. We could potentially sell him for 40, 50 million and he go to Chelsea and maybe play half the time he's there. You know, and that's an academy kid that you made 50 million off of.
I'm surprised we didn't look to sell him this summer.
Yeah. I mean, look, January is going to be funny. I got my thoughts on it, but it got you back in the Champions League. And that's, you know, that's part of the progression. You get the Champions League and become a more attractive club, right? When you're out of the Champions League, you can only go so far with the badge and selling the badge, you know, and selling the wages. Then you start paying. If you don't have the Champions League, then you're paying players a premium to come play for you because now you're getting money mercenaries, right? So it's. Yep. I know some people don't believe that getting Champions League makes you more marketable, but I mean, Gary can agree with on this. You're more likely to want to go play in the SEC because you have a chance to go play for a national championship than you would if you would go to the Pac-12. It's just a fact. So
that is untrue, though, what you just said.
You know, you're about to be in the SEC.
Anything else, Tony?
Can I go back and here? I'll do the front line real quick. Martinelli, Cassard, and Saka. We need to come off about 30 minutes left. We need to see Nelson. But as far as him saying the Pac-12, it's easier because of the way the championships have been. You win your conference, and you get to go. UCLA, USC left. So you just got to worry about the Oregon teams.
Yeah. That was our college football chat. So, Mr. Tom, as we're it's 7-80 minutes, but we're going to just go on and talk about what's next. What's next for you, Mr. Tom? I know we're going to let everybody have their say about what's going on next with their teams, their players, and whatnot. Leeds, anything you're looking forward to next with them? Who they're playing next?
Well,
and,
we play Swansea on Wednesday night, and I'm sure it will be as exciting as ever in the Championship. Yeah, it's the league that makes you wish you were dead. I mean,
Jesus, Tom.
Where'd all your energy go, Tom?
it's been sapped out of me during this show, quite frankly. I didn't realise anyway. Yeah. I don't know. I want to go to bed.
I want to say you've had a long weekend, so
He doesn't know.
you've had a long weekend.
Tom,
Oh, that's right,
Tom.
Charlie Tortino. But he didn't play last week. I don't think he played. Was it last game? So we'll see if he gets to play against Leeds.
Isn't
on,
it Chris
Wednesday.
time, Tom?
So
Oh,
anything
yeah.
else?
Oh,
Anything else, Mr. Tom?
nah.
He should have
nah.
some best of Chris for us. Come on, Tom.
Yeah, but Tony's going to complain about the crisps.
Alright.
They're not going to be good enough.
No. Tom, I have a question for you.
What are the crisps?
Are we going to see a guest appearance from our favorite 80s, 70s, 80s, 90s musician?
The guy did absolutely nothing this weekend. Why are we going to talk about him? He did nothing.
Did he even play?
I think he played, but they didn't
No.
play well at all. I don't think they meant
I know Alonso loves it, but I really don't think he deserves to be showcased.
only
because
when he plays well. Only when he plays well. But I'm gonna have a little say. I'll let everybody else out there say. Mr. Tom, yet did you have anything? Did I pull you off too soon?
That doesn't sound PG.
I know it doesn't sound right at all, does it? I'm sorry.
I just want to know what Tom's last done to you.
All right, let's do it. All
right.
Because next week is the start of the Christmas themed crisps. All right, properly Christmas themed. Okay. So this week, I was at work. All right, so I had to run to the shop. All right, I didn't have time to be all like, oh, let's go to the exotic foreign crisp section. So no, I couldn't. All right. So
You didn't go to a crisp emporium?
Why are you interrupting?
No, I just went to Iceland. I just went to Iceland.
Tony, let the man have his segment.
You talking?
You're still talking.
No, finish your thought, Tony. You have a lot of them,
Okay.
evidently.
I asked one question.
Please.
You always go to a chip emporium, and this time you didn't.
No, this time I went to Iceland. Oh, sorry. For the benefit of people who are unaware, Iceland is I'd say a medium level store. Like, obviously mainly specialising in frozen foods.
You said medium level. Does that mean like there's large and small? And what does that mean?
Well, they're not like an Asda or Tesco.
Ah. Okay.
Kind of like a regional shop market. Okay?
Yeah, but they're in a lot of regions, but still, it's like you're not going to find an Iceland that actually has its own car park kind of thing.
Ah.
You might. Someone's going to turn around and go, oh, the one in Bognor Regis has a car park. I don't know, all right, but point is...
So you mean like a top end and like a, you're just lucky if the food doesn't, I don't know, hasn't been opened already kind of thing? Is that kind of the levels you're talking about?
Yeah, sure, whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think any of us know what the heck you were talking about there for a second.
Right, so basically... Right, so I'm getting the Christmas themed ones out next week. Right, I'm not particularly looking forward to that.
Christmas
because
pudding.
I think that's one of them. So, yeah. So I just got chicken wings flavour.
Chicken wing flavor? All right.
I don't think I've had these before, but Tony registers in his mind which one. Have I had chicken wing ones before, Tony?
No, you have not.
Oh, wonderful. Well, then it's new. My apologies. I just assumed that I would have, but anyway.
You've had a lot of Max Ridges, but not that one. I'm kind of jealous that you guys get so many of the Ridge chips.
You said the rib chips?
Ridge chips.
Oh, okay.
Wavy. Instead of wavy, they're called Ridge.
Got Ridge, yeah. Shown by the ridges.
They're kind of like Ruffles, Tom. You want to talk about Rebels?
Jake's gonna had a gummy bear, so
I'm guessing this is like the equivalent of Ruffles, because No, about the same people, and now you were telling me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they usually pretty much stick to plain barbecue and
Oh, it's
cheese
spelled
on
red
it.
scroll. Oh, it's spelled rigged.
They got their money's
I didn't know.
worth.
I didn't know what that meant. It's something
I'm an
that's something
idiot.
in Virginia that you guys do. But
I'm an idiot.
cool.
Oh,
No wonder your wife's so happy because you've been rigged for pleasure. Mr. Tom, can we get a score, please?
I only have a few bites, Curry.
What do you mean? You usually can do it in one bite. What are you talking about, Tony?
Right, excuse me. Sorry. It's rude to talk with your mouth full. So I'll talk with it half full. The score is 9,400,012 out of 11,800,052.
Got it. Any more football chat before we move on?
Hmm?
You said any more football chat?
Yeah.
We want to come back.
Oh no! This whole the not including the last 2 minutes where it weren't about football, but the previous 1 hour and 24 minutes before that has actually put me off football for life.
There you
we
go.
celebrate
You have,
goals here,
he'll
Tom.
be a happier man for it because I think football makes him sad sometimes. So we may have done
Did you not have a question for us, Tom?
What? What?
You not have a question?
You know what? I can do your question quick.
Quick, Barry.
Not
Don't
the
get
liberal
jealous.
MCs,
Don't
no
get
better.
jealous
Hey,
of
quiet
Barry
down
Spencer.
there, Mr. Tony Turner.
What?
Quiet.
Not becoming of you, Mr. Spencer.
Oh, hey man, you got to use AI when you can. It's going to replace us one day. Might as well embrace it now.
Okay. Oh, okay. Leeds United legend Lucas Radebe was only signed to keep another signing happy. Who was that signing?
Repeat that again.
Leeds United legend Lucas Radebe was only signed to keep another signing happy. Who was that?
What is Leeds, by the way?
You say that, but I bet you knew we were in 2003, and I bet you knew we were in 1999 when we defeated you to hand our rivals the title twice.
Gary did it because he's off getting drunk in Florida. So
I was having too much fun in college and stuff, so now I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah,
Oh.
they're laughing at you. He said it.
Brendan Harrison, that's who it is. For Weston McKinney.
Why you got to bring them two up? What did I do to you?
Nothing. I mean,
Was it real? Was it
I
real
about made a
Ferdinand?
Grippo, your other favorite players meme today. I'll work on that.
Was it real Ferdinand?
It was not Rio Ferdinand, unfortunately. But thank you, Alonso, for taking it half seriously, at least.
I took it all
You
seriously.
pair of pricks.
There you go. Here's the
Pair of
answer.
absolute pricks.
You asked the question. I am never going to even be able to guess.
That's true.
Much less-
It's true. Okay, I'll do the answer. Philemon Masinga joined the Yorkshire outfit and requested that the club brought a South African teammate with him. So we chose Radebe, who turned out to be the much better investment.
There you go. So did that guy get did he get some compensation for that?
No, he's dead now.
Well,
I sounded like some.
he's
sounded
dead
like
now,
some-
but did he get paid when he was alive and he brought his buddy over?
Well, yeah, we didn't buy him when he was dead. No. In all seriousness, it was the belief that he'd be homesick without someone that also spoke like
Afghan.
exactly, and it turned out that he wasn't amazing and Lucas was.
So his scouting
And
was
then the
better than
team.
your team's. Got it.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Anything else before we let you go?
Nah. Oh,
right.
no, I'm just gonna badger Spencer during his outro.
There you go. So here we go. Going forward for me, I think people talked about timber and about changes. For me, I think we need to get to the point now where we just find our 11, stick with that for a bit so we can make sure that works, and then go from there. As far as players coming back, if Partey comes back, cool. If Timber comes back, cool. But I think we're going to have to work with what we got. So for me, I just want us to figure out what those that midfield and front line looks like, and try to make it work somehow. That's on Arteta. He's supposed to be the man with a plan. Man's got so. But I like I said, I think Martinelli and Sacco will come through. Who knows what happens with Jesus and how we use Erdogan. Trossard, I think, should continue to start. I don't know what that means for other players, but I think Trossard should start because I think he's been a little bit more. He's been engaged and been in a lot of the play attacks that we've been in these last couple of games, and I don't think we want to lose that. So
Can
let's
I
see how
read a
that goes.
poem out to everyone before we go?
So you want to read a poem? You can read a
I'll
poem
read a
after
poem.
everybody says their say.
All right.
So yeah. Next up, Spencer.
I'm just saying, I think Tom should check his DMs.
Tom should check his DMs.
I've got DMs.
Yeah.
Oh,
I made a meme for you.
Mm.
So
all right. I'll have a
so
look.
what? Is this the closing argument,
Yes,
Gary? Or?
basically. Yeah,
Well, hey, thanks for everybody coming by and hanging out this weekend. We had a lot of fun. We got the 3 points. Clemson won, Denver won. And
nobody cares about that. No,
figured-
seriously. You know what? They don't even know what that is.
that's
You
fun.
probably just like, I don't know. They probably like, did he just cough?
It's like
Is
the
that
analytics. You know, we're losing viewers as we go. But needless to say, look, big
5
game
people
Wednesday.
just really.
Gosh.
Tony,
Jesus
quiet.
Christ,
You get
man.
your say when it's your
He,
time.
he can maybe on, but I can't. Okay.
So big game Wednesday, 3:15 Eastern, 8:15 UK time against Racing Lens. Let's go get the 3 points, make it onto the knockout stage. Wolves on the weekend, 10 o'clock kick there. Yeah, just keep winning, baby. That's all. That's all you can do.
Cool. And Lonzo, talk to me about where we go from here and say bye to the people.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Gary. Good to see you, Spencer, Mr. Tom, Tony, Gary. Yeah, I'm excited about the next coming games, the fixtures. It's holiday season. I'm looking forward to beating Lens, and also Wolves is always a game that concerns me a little bit because Wolves are always up for it. Seems like. So yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. I'm very confident that we'll go into the holiday period pretty well. We got some tough games coming up with Villa and Liverpool, but I'm sure that's the future. Yeah, I'm very excited. I hope that Trossard gets some opportunities to start, whether it be at the number 8 or up front with Saka and Martinelli. It's good to see Kai Havertz get a goal from open play. I know he's been wanting that for a long time. I know us fans have been wanting it. Yeah, so that being said, have a good week, everyone.
Cool. Do you want to say bye, Spencer? Is that why you want to say bye to the people?
Oh, bye to the people. Remember, if you're having mental health issues, I'm sorry, that's Tom's line. Never mind.
No, do it.
I can do this. Listen,
No, do it. And I'll send you the power.
Dude, I got this, baby. I got this. I used to be a leader. I can do these things. Take care of your shipmates. Never mind. Take care of your people. Reach out. This is the holidays. People get depressed. DM me if you're feeling some kind of way, or call a mental health professional or whatever. Just, don't make a decision you can't undo. That's my big word, and we're here to hang out, and this isn't, I think this is the thing. I think Gary doesn't, maybe he does realize to an extent, but this is a good spot for us to hang out, have fun, chalk shit, and we all love the Arsenal, even Tom, even though he won't admit it. And we're here to have fun, and it's a constructive space, and we're going to disagree. We're going to criticize the team when we need to. We're not in this for clicks, likes. We're in this to have fun and hang out. It's like just 4 or 5 dudes hanging out at a bar talking Arsenal, man. And that's the joy of the game, man. So, Tom, if you have to do the segue for that, I may have butchered it a little bit. Didn't have the same touch as you did, but
Cool.
Your turn, sir.
I don't usually tell people to DM me because I won't answer it.
You answer mine all the time. Okay. All right.
You want to say bye to the people?
Yeah, but only when they're half decent. I screen them first. But yeah. No, right. Seriously. Okay.
Tom, what's your favorite player?
That's not Eddie Nketiah.
No, it's Firpo.
Okay.
You want to say bye to the people so we can move on? Or he's going to sit there and just have us look at you?
My plan was actually just to see how long we could all just sit here until we got uncomfortable.
All right, we'll come back to you. We'll come back to you. Tony,
So we have
your say and then say bye-bye.
I was wondering how many crisps I had this year and eat. But it just, who was beeping? I was expecting Jack Bauer to come in and defuse a bomb. Anyway, we made an easy game look difficult. Hopefully we do better in Europe this week. And hopefully everybody settles down from the holiday. Like Spencer said, all the mental stuff. Talk to people. We should be able to talk about mental issues as much as we do physical. But it's kind of hard to do if you have me around. That's pretty much it.
Is that it? You done?
Yep.
All right.
Can you repeat that, please, Tony? Because I was distracted.
Do we want to do that? Why do we need to do that?
I like listening to Tony. He's an informative gentleman.
Don't forget.
Why are you laughing, Tony? I was being genuine.
You were, but I no.
Johnny overrode. Sorry.
All right.
Okay.
You want to say bye before we get out of here?
I'd like to read a poem.
You've asked him that like 15 times already.
I have.
Okay.
I have.
I'd like to read a poem by a philosopher named Live in Colour. Okay. It goes like this. Look in my eyes. What do you see?
All right.
The cult of personality. I know your anger. I know your dreams. I've been everything you want to be. Oh, I'm the cult of personality.
That's living color, not live in color.
Okay.
I know. That was the joke, Tony.
All right. Say bye so we can get out of here.
Like Mussolini and Kennedy. So, all right. So,
Get
sure.
him off the screen already.
What do you mean get him off the screen?
He's holding up proceedings.
Yeah. All right, everyone.
Hold up. You held up my entertainment and my being asleep for 30 minutes. I was sleeping with my eyes open.
True. All right, people.
Fuckers.
Thank you.
Anyway.
We're going to head out of here. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back next week after Swansea and whoever leads play on the weekend. Arsenal plays Lions and Wolves. So we'll talk about that next week. Huh?
We play Swansea on Wednesday.
And then you play somebody else probably on the weekend,
Middlesbrough on Saturday, yes.
There you go. So you got 2 games. We'll have 2 games each by the time we're back. And we'll chat about that. Hopefully Arsenal is able to continue to win and stay atop the league. And because the more we're at the top of the league, the more it pisses everybody off. So the hate is great.
Yeah.
Hate is great. Everybody, thank you very much for joining. Appreciate all the time you spend with us, and make sure you subscribe and like, and we'll see you on the next one.
Life is a journey. Don't waste your trip. Enjoy the ride. There you go.